In that sense, what made Tilikum work for you? What because you say you had developed as a songwriter. So what made Tilikum different from the things that you were writing before?
I think exactly what I just said, you know, that honesty,
Okay.
you know, that honesty in me knowing what every lyric is about and who it's about and what it's referencing, and the calmness in the chorus, the kindness, you know, be my rose growing in the cold, be my light in the window at home, be my sun rising in the sky, be my time bomb lover tonight, like, it's looking to the future. You know, it's like, we'll be okay. And the verses are cold and very sad, but there's a warmth to it. And I think, for me, I was so confused with with losing Dad and everything else that was going on in my personal life, that a lot of the stuff I was writing was kind of, I think aggressive is the wrong word, but it wasn't considered, you know, it wasn't considered in like an honest emotional sense.
And well, Tilikum, I know the name from a documentary.
Yeah,
Blackfish.
of course.
Was that an inspiration?
Yeah, of course. You know, the song, I first heard that name in that movie, which is obviously about the horrific treatment of killer whales in Florida, I think, which is disgraceful, you know. It's funny, like, since releasing that song, a lot of fans have been posting news articles about Tilikum, you know, to my Facebook or Twitter, which I love, but the song is not about the whale, you know. The song is a love song about someone that I was with that there'll be time for in the future, you know. But it's just such a beautiful word, you know, and I was gonna, at one point I was gonna have a baby and we were gonna call it Tilikum. So I thought it'd be an appropriate title for the song, because the song is a love song about that person, you know. And it means, I'm told, and the research that I've done on this is kind of, a lot of, you know, fans have kind of helped me, that people kind of say what they think it's about, you know, and what their interpretation of Tilikum is, but there's a sense of family and community associated with that word, I think, in the Navajo language, which I love, you know, because it's a beautiful sentiment. So yeah, it's kind of one word that there are loads of roads going out from that all kind of come back to this love song, you know, and like, I think anyone who watches that film falls in love with that whale as well, you know, like, it's like, wow, you're the most beautiful, powerful creature in the world and you're getting, well, tortured by humans. And
well, you mentioned being more considerate in your lyrics, and just now you say that Tilikum was kind of a reference to naming a potential child. Was it a difficult album to write in that sense, because now it was very honest and very specific?
Yeah, I mean, the 3 years that I was kind of creating it and writing and always playing music, like I said, there are some days where it's the most amazing thing in the world and some days where it's the darkest thing in the world. And there were times, you know, when I was at home in Yorkshire, where I'd be sending 3 songs a day to the label that I'd be recording on my, you know, computer or whatever. And like maybe one of like 150 songs has ended up on the album, or even like part of one song. So I don't know about difficult, because I think it's a deal you make with yourself as a songwriter. It's at least the deal I make with myself as a songwriter. Like, this is what you're doing now. It's for life. I'll be remembered after I leave based on these songs. I'll be remembered and thought about while I'm still here based on these songs. So say everything you need to say, you know. Try and say it in a considered way, but it's more important that you're honest, you know, to me anyway. And I think of songwriting almost as like an audio will, you know. I think, wow, what happens if tomorrow I get on a plane and something goes wrong? Will I have said everything I need to say in an honest and considered way and a beautiful way? And will all the amazing people I've met in my life, you know, that's not a music thing, anyone who lives, you know, meets amazing people, whether you're a scientist, mathematician, builder, bin man, whatever, you know, like, will I have paid respects in my own way, and my own way is song, you know.
And well, because you have been away from the stage for a while, what was it like then, having these very personal songs and then going on stage and performing them for the first time?
Yeah, I mean, this tour, I think we're about 4 weeks into this tour. We started in Norwich about a month ago, just over a month ago, and it was nerve-wracking, man, you know, like, of course, I remember I opened with Tilikum in my set, and I remember my voice kind of shaking while I was singing it, you know, and the live setting is so different to the studio setting. You know, they're like two different worlds. So you have to try and re-engage emotionally and spiritually with the songs that you've written recently, or older songs as well, because my set is obviously some of Last Smoke and some of After the Rain. So it's mad, you know, but that's part of the craft and the discipline of being a touring songwriter. You know, I close my eyes a lot when I'm singing, and the reason I do that, I think, and sometimes I wake up at the end of the song and everyone's just looking like, where have you been, you know? And the reason I do that is because I'm trying to get into that space of that initial spark of the song in my own mind, so I can perform it better. Because you have to perform with emotion, you know.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. So you do try to seek out that emotion, that kind of that
yeah
originated that song.
Of course, yeah, you have to, and that is, of course, that's enough to mess up your mind sometimes, you know, because you're going to places that are very sad or even overly happy, you know, and it's all the dynamic of a set. And to add to that, don't worry, man, and to add to that, you've got a couple of hundred people or more looking at you while you're doing it, you know, and I love that, you know. I feel such a responsibility.
Sorry.
Don't worry, man, don't worry.
Last question. The album's called After the Rain. When in the whole process did that album title pop up?
Pretty late.
Okay.
Pretty late, you know, as late as it possibly could have. I was toying with a couple of other ideas, but again, I just thought it was the most honest possible title, because it's after I was releasing this album after a time in my life where I was I wasn't always that happy, to put it in one way, you know. But it's not like, you know, rain isn't necessarily a negative thing either, you know. It's not like I'm saying after the dark rain or the dark river, you know. It's more like after a time of real change, you know. And also there's that amazing feeling, you know, when you wake up after it's rained and the world's like a new place. It feels fresh and alive, you know. So it was pretty late in there.
Yeah, kind of a cleansing quality.
Totally, yeah. Cleansing is the right word, yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure, man. Thanks for having me.